Hi friends, welcome to Crack Rugby. We are back with another important lecture in the series that we have started in the late September for the current affairs. So these are the current affairs especially for the phase 2 examination and especially for the upcoming exam that is NABARD grade A. So I hope you are preparing well for your examination. So this will give a boost to your preparation if you are watching it. If you are not watching it, so go ahead and watch the video. Each video is not more than 15 minutes long. So let's begin with the news article from the 5th and 6th October 2021. So the first piece of news article is Kashmir walnuts from Budgam, right? So you had been hearing that the product that has been means a product that is popular on a particular place like Kashmir, like West Bengal, like Orissa. You had been reading in the news that this were exported to other countries. Now you see a different piece of news, that will take. So it is the first consignment of the Kashmir walnut, okay, and it has been dispatched to Bengaluru, Karnataka. Why this has been dispatched? To backfill the exports, right? So you have been seeing that APADA, right, recently has been into the mission mode of exporting things from India, right? So whatever special or GI tax product that India has, it is on a mission mode to export into the other country, right? But what will happen to our own uh, needs, right? So fulfilling that needs, Kashmir, the first consignment from the Kashmir is walnuts, where it has been sent to Bengaluru. 2000 kgs were dispatched, and this was done under the One District, One Product program by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So, important thing to note that Kashmir accounts for 90% of the India's walnut production. So you see the value of this news article because Kashmir accounts 90% of India's walnut production. This means that 90% of the export for the walnut will depend on Kashmir, and also 90% for the internal consumption of foreign countrymen will depend on Kashmir. Whatever is rest, it will be exported, right? So this was an important news. So let's move ahead to the next news article, that is DRDO Dare to Dream 2.0 and Young Scientist Award. So see, if you read this news article, you will think that what is the importance of this news when it comes to ESI and ARD. Yes, even when you are thinking this, you are right. But please do keep in the mind that you will have to write a descriptive paper. So this news is being put into the ESI section purposely because when you write something about education, you can use this piece of news article, right? What India is doing. So, Raksha Mantri Sri Rajnath Singh felicitated the winner of Dare to Dream 2.0 contest. Okay, so see, these are like phase one type of news material, but we have phase two upcoming. So he also launched Dare to Dream 3.0. So this is something of phase two sort. Now, what is Dare to Dream? Let us understand this. So Dare to Dream is a DRDO's pan-India contest to promote Indian academician, individual and startup to develop emerging defense and aerospace technology systems. So in aerospace technology, ISRO is doing very good and we are almost competing with the world. But when it comes to defense technology, we are lacking behind many countries like uh, France, Russia, USA. So we are heavily dependent on the arms import. So I think you might be reading that CIPRI report. In CIPRI report, it's clear India is, I think, the third largest importer in the world of the defense uh, uh, equipments. So this is a kind of initiative, which will in long term will give boost to defense and aerospace technology, right? So I hope by explaining this, adding this 2 3 lines extra and giving this 1 minute extra, I hope that CrackJLB is able to add 2 to 3 lines in your answer so that it looks good, right? If we are adding value, please do appreciate us in the comment section so that it motivates us, and we should be working more hard while reading your comments. So that is very important thing. Now, let us move forward with the third news article. Seychelles Tax Inspector Without Borders program. Now, Tax Inspector Without Border. So what is this? It's a joint initiative of United Nations Development Program UNDP and Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development OEDC. Okay, where it was launched? It was launched in Seychelles on 4th. So date is not at all important date. It was launched in Seychelles. So now about India. India was chosen as the partner administration and has provided tax expert for this program. Okay. Now you see this is a program by the UNDP and OECD launched in the Seychelles. But where does India come into the picture? India is chosen as the partner administration. Now what happens when India becomes the partner administration? Now read. This program is expected to be 12-month durations, during which India, in collaboration with the TIWB, means Tax Inspector Without Borders, Secretariat and support of UNDP country office in Mauritius and Seychelles, look, aims to aid Seychelles in strengthening its tax administration by transferring technical know-how and skills to its tax auditor through sharing the best audit practice. Right? So it would be our IRS officers who would be sharing knowledge about the taxation system, about how to do, what to do, how to audit things, means technical know-how and skills of best practice that is being done in India. Okay, so this is what India is going to empower whom? Mauritius and Seychelles. How? With the help of tax inspector without office secretariat, okay, plus UNDP country office. Okay, so they are going to coordinate with the Indian authorities, and the Indian authorities is going to empower them through all these things. Okay. The focus of the program will be on transfer pricing cases of tourism and financial service sector. Okay, so let's move forward to the next news article, that is World Animal Day. So I think this, you can say this is of ARD section. So the Animal Welfare Board of India celebrated World Animal Day 2021 on 4th October at Kamdhenu Dham Gaushala Nagar Nigam Gaushala, Gurugram, Haryana. Okay, so see, even if this is not sort of phase two, you try to keep the remember date October. Okay, where Gurugram, Haryana. Right? You will have to remember this news article. And on the same occasion, Shri Purushottam Rupala, who is he? He is the Minister for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy. Right? He inaugurated the website www.awbi.in. Okay, for the benefit of the end user of animal welfare. Okay, so it's a knowledge portal. So let's move to the next news article, that is E-Sanjeevani. So you see that this news article comes every month, right? Every month. That this many people in like in the month of October, it has completed so 1.3 million, 13 million. This means 1.3 crore consultation. Okay. So this is not important. But what is important is when this news is coming every month, you should know what is E-Sanjeevani, right? So yes, so let's read about E-Sanjeevani. So it's a doctor to doctor telemedicine system. Simple. Let's say you are a doctor, I am a doctor. Okay, I am in a doubt regarding something, you are an expert, I call you, take your advice. That's it. This is a telemedicine system between doctor to doctor, right? This has been deployed nationally by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Under which program? Ayushman Bharat schemes, right? Ayushman Bharat scheme. So mostly this is helping the doctors were deployed in the rural areas, right, who do not have the that technical knowledge than a doctor who may be sitting in the metro city, because the kind of cases he handles, and there are multiple factors, so let's not discuss that. But eSanjeevani is a doctor to doctor telemedicine facility managed by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare under Ayushman Bharat scheme. So this was launched in the year 2019. The first stage to launch this service was Andhra Pradesh. You cannot afford to forget this information. Then Sanjeevani OPD. What is Sanjeevani OPD? This is based on the eSanjeevani model and offers OPD consultation service to the people in the comfort of their home. Understood? So, if I think I should call eSanjeevani doctor, I will take up the number, I will call, and the other on the second side, on the other side, the person sitting is a doctor. I tell my condition, he gives me the medicine. So that is an OPD consultation service. This is known as eSanjeevani OPD, right? So this was launched during the COVID pandemic in April 2020. Okay, so let's move forward to the next news article, that is Khadi flagship CP outlet records sale of 1.2 crore on Gandhi Jayanti. See, this news is absolutely not important when you read the headline. But what is important, that you should be knowing that Khadi India have outlet in multiple places in India, right? So to let you know that information, we have put this news. Else we don't find this news to be important for your phase 2 examination, right? So when we have come across, let's discuss in 10 seconds. So on 2nd October 2021, means on Gandhi Jayanti, this outlet in the Connaught Place, New Delhi, recorded a sales of over 1 crore Indian rupees, right? So Khadi is being pushed by the Prime Minister so much on the first hand. On the second hand, Mahatma Gandhi was a Khadi lover, right? So you already know that. So that's why this place has you know uh, a recorded sales of more than 1 crore rupees on a single day. Okay, so let's move forward. Credit guarantee scheme for subordinate debt. What is this? Let us read. Credit guarantee scheme for subordinate debt extended to 31/03/2022. Okay, extension. Then the government announced creation of distress asset fund. Okay, what is distress asset fund? Subordinate debt for stress MSME, right? So in COVID pandemic, the MSMEs who are actually doing the business in a very short margin. Okay, so due to lockdown and many other regulations, so their cash in hand, or maybe the working capital eroded. So they became stressed MSME. So to make them overcome from that situation, this is that scheme that has been launched, Distress Asset Fund, okay, under the Atmanirbhar Bharat package. Accordingly, a credit guarantee scheme for subordinate debt was approved by the government on 1st June 2022, and the scheme was launched on 24th June 2022 to provide credit facility through lending institution to promoters of distressed MSME based SMA2 and NPA accounts who are eligible for restructuring as per the RBI guidelines. So, when a loans become NPA, it's 0 to 90 days, it's SMA1, then SMA2, and like this. So when the MSME were into that stress, then this scheme came into the picture. So the promoters who were eligible as per the RBI's guideline of restructuring, they were given the loans under this facility or this arrangement of the government of India. So the scheme was to remain operational till 31st 3 2021. It has been extended to 31st 3 2022, means more 1 year. So let's move to the other news article. Reserve Bank of India grants license to NARCL. So again, before you read this, okay, you should be knowing about what is NARCL. So if you do not know, YouTube channel there is a video on NARCL. So it's a very short video consisting of few FAQs. Through that, we have tried our level best to clear about what is NARCL, right? So it is a company registered under the Companies Act. So PSUs are the owners. So you go ahead and watch the video. What happened now in this news article? Reserve Bank of India granted license. What kind of license? Let us see. The Reserve Bank of India has granted the National Asset Reconstruction Company (NARCL), which is seeking to turn around bad loans worth rupees 2 trillion. The license to register as an asset reconstruction company means the license was given to register them as an ARC. The approval to the entity has been accorded under Section 3 of the Securitization and Reconstruction of Financial Assets and Enforcement of Security Interest SARFAESI Act 2020. RBI has granted them the license under Section 3. Means under Section 3, this one. Read this. SBI, Union Bank of India, and Indian Bank have picked 13.27% stake each in NSCL. Means SBI 13.27, Union Bank 13.27, Indian Bank 13.27. Stake in each NASL while PNB has bought 12.06%. Right? Then the NARCL has been incorporated under the Companies Act, and the PSB bank is going to hold PSB is going to hold at least 51%. At least 51%. The rest will be with the private sector. Around 16 public sector and private banks have put in rupees 5,000 to 6,000 crore in the guideline. That will be utilized by it to pay 15% cash to the lenders while purchasing their bond bonds. So the remaining 85% will be paid to the security receipt guaranteed by the government. So recently there is a news that the government has guaranteed some amount for the NARCL. Okay, so this 5,000 to 6,000 crore will be utilized to pay 15% of the cash to the lenders, while other 85% will be through the security receipt guaranteed by the government. Means sovereign bond. As simple as that. So if you are confused, just write sovereign bonds. Then the newly formed NARCL expects to recover between 50,000 crore to 64,000 crore through the resolution of bad loans worth rupees 2 trillion. Right? Let's move to the next news article, that is transforming urban landscape complex of action. Okay. So PM inaugurated Azadi Internet 75 new urban container transforming rural landscape complex of Expo in Lucknow. Right? So PM also handed 75,000 rupees of house under the PMAY Urban to 75 districts of Uttar Pradesh with the 35,000 land connection to the 75 districts of Uttar Pradesh. Under PMAY, more than 1.3 crore housing units has been constructed so far. Okay. Mm. Under PM Samriddhi Yojana, street vendors are named with the time that was recently. Through this scheme, the aid of more than rupees 2,500 crore has been given to more than 25 lakh beneficiaries. Right? So, not important here, but whatever is important has been said. Let's watch the video. All the lines we will get to know. Then let's move to the next news article, that is National Mission on Edible Oil and Oil Palm. So, National Mission on Edible Oil Palm Business Summit for Northeastern State was held in Guwahati. Where it was held? In the state of Guwahati. So, keeping in view of the vision Prime Minister for holistic and balanced progress of Northeast, the conference began under the chairmanship of Union Agriculture Minister Sri Narendra Singh Tomar. Now, next. The mission with an outlay of 11,040 crore will bring additional area of 6 point lakh hectare under oil palm plantation. Now you see, in for palm oil, India is import dependent. So we are dependent on other countries for palm oil. Palm oil is very important for oils. The vegetable oil that we eat has some sort of palm oil in it, and also it has some industrial use. Okay, then with 3.2 lakh hectare in northeastern states and 3.22 in rest of India in the next 5 years, right? The certificates of FPO formed by the NABARD were distributed, and an MOU was signed with AEPRL. And so this is a company and an FM. State of Assam to establish the first of its kind biorefinery in India to produce renewable green fuel Okay. And a book being also launched, Glimpse of Nemo Oil Palm in Northeastern States. Okay. Then. So this is very important news. Pause the video or take a screenshot, watch it once or twice. All the important information are given here. You cannot afford to miss it. Let's move to next news article, that is Industrial Park Rating System report, right? So the second edition of the Industrial Park Rating System report was launched by Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, Sri Shom Prakash. Then, who is the main minister? Mr. Piyush Goyal. The IPRS 2.0 report is a part of Commerce and Industry Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and comes during the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav festival. So, what is the report? The report, as per the report, it's 41 industrial park in India has been assessed as leaders in the industrial park rating system report. 90 industrial parks has been rated as challengers category. 185 have been rated under the aspirers. Means one day this 185 will either become challenger or leaders, whatever they are doing. The report is an extension of the Indian Industrial Land Bank, which features more than 4,400 industrial parks in a GIS-enabled database. Right? So this is very important. Now, what is Indian Industrial Land Bank? So it provides details of more than 5.6 lakh hectares of land throughout India, and this 5.6 lakh hectare is roughly the size of a 30-40 countries. Means so big on the click of a button. And prospective entrepreneur who aspire to invest in India can look anywhere across the world. So anywhere across the world can apply for a land in India. The GIS enabled IILB acts as a one-stop source for information on industrial infrastructure. Right? Then, based on the learnings from the pilot stage, the government started IPRS 2.0 in 2020. All the states of India and 51 SEZs, including 29 private, have participated in IPRS 2.0 report. Right? So this is very, very important report. This is important in terms of your objective and descriptive as well. Do take a screenshot of it or pause the video, read it once or twice. If you are making notes, if you have missed some points, do mention the points that you have missed from this video. I mean, from this uh, and this slide. So this is very, very important and you cannot afford to miss it. Let's move to the next news article, that is GI tag Swedish Mihidana. Okay, so GI tag from where? In an effort to promote indigenous and geographical identification tag products, first consignment of GI tag sweet dish Mihidana sourced from the Bardhaman, West Bengal has been exported to Kingdom of Bahrain. Okay, so you see, Kingdom of Bahrain has imported many GI tag foods in the recent times. If you have been following our current affair material and the videos, you might already know this, right? and APDEA is doing something commendable. It's exporting things, right? In January 2021, what happened? A consignment of January Moa was also exported to the Kingdom of Bahrain, right? Then, then this Mihidana got the GI tag. Bardhaman got the GI tag for the century olds in 2017. Okay, so let's move to, there is something that I haven't read is about the India Post. So India Post has recently, put this Janagurnoa in a special type envelope and have transported it. Okay, so in August 2021, the India Post released a special cover on the West Bengal sweetmeats Mihidana and Sita. Okay, so let's move to the next news article. Before we move, let us understand what is GI tag and role of APEDA for GI tag products. A GI tag is a sign denoting a specific geographical origin and possesses qualities or a reputation that are due to that origin. Means whatever the product is exclusive to that particular area. Right? So this is called GI tag. A GI tag can be issued for agricultural, natural, or manufactured goods. Okay, and have a unique quality, reputation, or other characteristics attributable to its geographical origin, like Darjeeling tea, Basmati rice, Kanchipuram silk, Mysore silk, Hyderabadi helam, Nagaland chili products, etc., sold with a GI tag premium product. Okay, premium pricing. Now, the role of APDA is, it finds the market where it needs to be exported. Then it does all the export activity. It sources the product from a certain company, it packs it, and then it exports it. Right? It provides the overall consultancy, overall help to that product or that product export. Right? So that the market in the future can be developed. So maybe at one point you look that it is only being exported to one country, but everything should start with one. Okay, so today this is only going to, let's say, Kingdom of Bahrain. Tomorrow it will go to Dubai. Day after tomorrow it will go to London, and so on. Okay, so the role of APEDA would be very, very commendable in this. Now, let's move to the next news article. It's the State of the World's Children report. So, Sri Mansukh Mandavia has launched this global flagship publication by the UNICEF. Okay, the State of the World's Children 2020-21 on my mind, promoting, protecting, and caring for children's mental health. Okay, the report details the significant impact of COVID-19 pandemic on children's mental health. Right? Dr. Yasim Al Haq, who is UNICEF India representative, presented some key findings. So, what are the key findings? So, 14% of the 15 to 24-year old. So, 15 to 24-year-old, 14%, 14% of the children, or 1 in 7, reported often depressed or having little interest in doing things, right? So they feel deprived, they feel alone. Okay, so whatever may be the reason, that is second. But this is the finding of the report, and you will have to remember it, right? So this is a report by the UNICEF, and Sri Mansukh Mandavia has launched it for India. Dr. Yasim Al Haq is the UNICEF India representative, right? So let's move forward with the next news article, that is social empowerment and care for Divyanjan. So DD News conclave on social empowerment and care for Divyanjan. So keynote address was delivered by Dr. Virendra Kumar, Union Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment. That's it. Nothing much important in this news. So DD News is doing this as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav celebration. Let's move to the next news article, that is state of the art heliborne survey technology. Right? So Dr. Jitendra Singh has Gallons and gallons of water in that water tank. So it's not actually water tank. In hypothetical situation, you understand there is a water tank. बहुत जमीन के नीचे there is a space, वहां पे बहुत सारा पानी होता है, right? It's an aquifers. So 3D mapping पूरे इमेज का किया जाएगा using the drone. The area will be 3D mapped. Okay, it's and this is a technique developed by the CSIR and NRGI Hyderabad, and they are going to map it starting with Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, and Haryana, four states. Do remember this state. Okay, cost is 150 crore. Who are involved? Ministry of Jal Shakti is involved, and it is being developed by the CSR NRGI Hyderabad. So they are going to do this. Okay. So why? So let us see that. Arid areas in northwestern India spread over the state of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana, and Punjab covers nearly 10% of the total geographical area of the country. Means this whole country is comprised of 12% of the entire country, right? And home to more than 8 crore people. He said with an annual rainfall in the range of less than 100 to 400 mm. So see, the rainfall is very less, and hence the water level is very means it's very low and it's even depleting. So this area faces an acute shortage of water throughout the year, and it's proposed to take up this high resolution aquifer mapping management to augment the groundwater water resources. Right. So let's say a aquifer has so much water in it that it can water one aquifer can water the entire state throughout the year. Okay, so aquifers are very big. That's a geographical concept. But if you want, you may search in the Google by looking just at the image. You will get clear what is an aquifer. ठीक है? It's like uh, ground के नीचे एक tank like structure is there and वो पूरा पानी से भरा हुआ रहता है. That is an aquifer. Then let's move to the next news article, that is Handicraft Cluster Development Program. Very important. Ministry of Textile has approved continuation of comprehensive handicraft cluster development scheme with a total outlay of rupees 160 crore. Okay, the scheme will continue up to when? March 2020-26. So very long scheme. Okay, because it's a development of a cluster. Okay, the focus will be on integration of scattered artisans, building their grassroots level enterprise and linking them to SME in the handicraft sector to ensure economies of scale. Right? You see I mean, handicraft items are those items which are made by hands, right? And they are very scattered artisans. So who does it? Where he does? Very few people know it. So this development scheme is to bring them together, make them work for a particular motive, and add all their works together, so that it becomes economically important. Now, the mega handicraft cluster having more than 10,000 artisans will be selected for overall development under this scheme, right? So let's move to the next news article. Moody's upgrades India's rating. Very important. So Moody Investor Surveys on change India's outlook on India's sovereign rating to stable from negative. Means it was negative earlier and now it has become stable. Okay, stable, stable. However, it retained the ratings both on foreign and domestic currencies at the lowest investment grade. Then, so now Moody's, Standard and Poor's have a stable outlook on their rating on India, while Fitch still has a negative outlook. Right. So these are the rating agencies. So Moody and Standard and Poor's have rated India as the stable outlook, but Fitch still has negative outlook. In Moody's lexicon, India has Baa3 ratings. It is retaining this rating balances India's key credit strength. Right. So this was all about the Moody's upgrade India's rating. Let's move to the next news article, that is rate under PMJY. Okay. Jan Arogya Yojana increased. So the government has increased the rate of separate treatment under the Ayushman Bharat Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana between 20 and 400%. Rates of around 400 procedures have been revised, including cancer treatment and one additional medical management package related to the black fungus. Right? So, very much detail is not required, only it has increased from 20 to 400%. This is what it is important. Right? Why it is done? It is done because many private sector were hesitant to come under the PMJY scheme because of the price. Right? But now increasing the price, many private sector is going to join the PMJY, and this will basically boost the health infrastructure for the people who are living in rural India, the people who cannot afford good health facilities, right? So they are going to benefit from this the most. So let's move forward to the next news article, that is WTO, World Trade Organization raises trade outlook. So India's export growth perspective are likely to get a boost from the World Trade Organization latest report that now sees a brighter global merchandise trade outlook for 2021 compared to its earlier projection. India's export to its top trading partners such as US, European Union, nations in West Asian, among others, are expected to rise. Export data during the first 6 months of the current fiscal year is emblematic of the fact that external demand has been robust. India exported goods worth rupees 33.44 billion in September, up from 21.35% on a year-on-year basis. So you see that India's export is rising, right? So that this witnessed a 28% jump over September 2019. Now, according to WTO report released, global trade is expected to grow by 10.8% compared to the forecast of 8% in March, but in a varied economy. Now, see why this report is very important, because in the recent times you see that the export in the China is not increasing, it has been diminishing or slowly or getting slow. The reason may be debt or the energy crisis that China is going through. Okay, but India can certainly get benefit of those things. India can become one of the uh, best alternative for the Chinese export, right? So pause the video, read through all the lines, because most things are data, not much to explain. And again, not everything you should remember. So we have, you can see bold lines; those are important ones, and rest you see what you have written in your notes, or the material that you follow. Just augment the information that is not there here and there and finish it off. Okay, so let's move to the next news article, that is PMI survey. Activities in services, the biggest sector in Indian economy, moderated in September. You see, moderated in September means the growth is not as much as it was expected compared to August. Okay, through states ease restriction to slow down the coronavirus. So it is being released by IHS Market Purchasing Managers Index. Okay, this shows the PMI survey shows the market sentiment from the manufacturing side. So PMI declined to 55.2% in September from 56.7 in August. In PMI lexicon, a reading above 50 shows expansion while below means contraction. So still see we have 50 plus, so not much an area to concern. Okay, so see, in September 2019 it was before corona it was 48.7, now 55.2. So you can see, yeah, that the things are good. With this, we have come to the last news article, that is SEBI emits norms. What kind of norms? So SEBI has tweaked regulation for REITs and NVITs with respect to exit option from dissenting unit holders in various scenarios, including acquisition and change in sponsor. Okay, now the exit option for dissenting unit holder would be available in case of an acquisition, change in sponsor, inducted sponsor, or change in control of sponsor, or an inducted sponsor is triggered pursuant to an open offer. Okay, so this lines, what will happen. This is not much important, but yes, you should know that there is a norm change for exit option for REITs and INVITs, right? So this will be important for your RBI and SEBI examination. But for NABARD, the concepts asked are not so deep and so core in the NABARD grade examination, right? Or grade B examination. Just pause the video, go through the screenshot once, and you are done. So with this, we have come to the end of this lecture. So we hope that you are preparing well. We wish you very good luck for your examination from Team Crack Grade B. Goodbye.